Okay, I wanted to show you how I trim, or how you can trim a quilt block. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but I am in the middle of the English trellis quilt, and this is a 4-inch, well, it was 4 inches when I started, a 4-inch square, and we have to trim, you know, you sewed the 1/4-inch seam, pressed to the dark side to keep the seam allowance from showing through on the front. And then the instructions say to trim the square, the block, to 3.5. So I use a small square ruler. This is a Fisker's and it's 4.5. It's the one that has like an orange stripe. Now I went on two sides. When I square a block, the lines blend together for me sometimes on these rulers, and so it's easier for me to take painter's tape and hide what I don't need on a little square ruler. Now you can use any size ruler that's large enough for the cut, but I just find the smaller ruler is just easier to manage and it's a little bit faster. When you're working with half square triangles, you also want to make sure your ruler has the 45-degree angle that goes from diagonally from one corner to the other. So another benefit of putting the painter's tape on here is it helps the ruler to grip and it doesn't slide around as much. You can also, there's some little sandpaper discs that you can buy that you can stick. They're little tiny sandpaper dots, or you know, they've got sticky on the back. I have those on some of my rulers. Another trick to getting a successful cut when you're squaring up a block is to get yourself a brand new rotary cutter blade, okay? Because if your blade is dull and you have to press harder, the odds of you pushing your ruler around are higher as you go. You don't want to do that. So it doesn't generally make a difference one way or the other, whether you're, you know, which angle works for you. Just find however you want to. And then I take the ruler. This is a rotating mat. You don't need one unless, you don't need one really, but they're handy if you have to do, like all 4 sides. So the first thing I try to do is to line up this upper corner so that it is within a thread of the edge, and this one within a thread of the edge. And then you want to line up this center, and so I'll just push it. And this takes time to get this right. So I'll hold it like, whoops, see, I just wiggled it. And okay, so 3 points you have to check for. This corner, and your 45-degree line. If everything looks nice and straight, you can cut. And you want to start behind the edge of the block and cut past it, and start behind the edge of the block and cut past it, and go slow, okay? Another thing, notice that I didn't move the ruler. I moved the fabric away before I removed the ruler. So that way, if you didn't cut completely through it, you don't have to reposition. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get my diagonal straight, and sometimes you wiggle it down until it's even here and it's even up here. Everything looks good. Start behind it and cut through, and start behind it and cut through. Looks good. That's pretty simple. Thanks for watching.